The Wrecking Ball play. Marvel's got a decent ball of his own here, so kind of fun to see that matchup here. And Junbin comes crashing into Lastro, finds the kill on that brig here, and Babel fares no better.
Yeah, wasting no time to get into the backline. And again, I said, Junbin on this Wrecking Ball is one of his signature heroes, and he's very comfortable on this hero. So suddenly, you're already seeing the San Francisco Shock on a composition.
Junbin again, absolutely zooming. Just around that outside of the map here, hoping to find some disruption. He crashes into Lastro once more, this time not yielding a kill. Straight away, knocking Marvel out of his own bubble. A lot of disruption here. Might not look like it's huge in terms of damage, but makes it harder for the Gladiators to get their ducks in a row. Kevster's focusing beam doesn't find Purge, and he's hit with a Bite-A-Grenade, forced to back away. Again, just as Junbin drops down, there's sticky bombs there, but Proppers find the right target. Marvel is felled. San Francisco now well on the way to getting back in control. It's going to be Kevster going for the dupe onto the Tracer. He recalls away from those sticky bombs though, and is forced to play from the periphery for the time being. A very comfortable duplicate here from an off-Tracer player, but he hasn't found any opportunities to get kills. Really just trying to keep Junbin at bay here as the Gladiators are ticking up that capture percentage.
Marvel is back from dying early as well. Junbin is going to utilize his mines here to try to buy some space. Crucially, he's going to stay alive.
No way.
Barely stays alive, and they get the point cap as well.
That's unreal. Junbin just hangs in there. Adaptive barrier coming up at just the right time. Yaki tries his best. He gets rid of Renko again. His pulse bombs have been connecting with the Ana more often than not in this round so far. But the Gladiators need to do a little bit more to retake control. No connection here from Proper. Having two Anas definitely doesn't suck. A lot of pressure now onto Babel as the focusing beam doesn't find the kill, but eventually Junbin gets in there and finds two. This Wrecking Ball is nasty stuff. Marvel, yes, he's got Nano and he's well and truly in there. He's forced to jump away, get topped up with just a mini health pack here.
He's everywhere.
Lukemino, the Nano boost here, he can't get away. Junbin finds him yet again, a third kill on the fight for the Wrecking Ball. And San Francisco, they take the first round here on control. Ironic for so many reasons, but of course, surprising. Given the new look roster they brought in, they are looking pretty slick.
Alone, you lose your main support, and from there, Babel has no protection at all, right? So it's just need maybe a little bit of communication. Maybe it's the Gladiators. We talked about the Shock. Maybe it's the Gladiators who need to figure out the synergy a little bit.
The Wrecking Ball from Junbin, man, it's been pretty hard to deal with. Straight away, scouts the high ground here. Yeah, look, he sees that where the Gladiators are trying to play right towards that point. Shrugs off the sticky bombs for the most part here. Proper has that duplicate available. You see, he doesn't want to duplicate the Winston now because of the changes to that ability. Instead, just looks to try and poke the Glads away from the point, prevent them from capping, which they didn't, by the way. They got close until the Shock intervened, and Babel just explodes. Proper descends upon him with a focusing beam and finds the key kill. Kevster fares a little better now, and the Shock have the numbers. There was a flip from the Gladiators. That is the, I guess, the sole upside for them in this fight. And with Lastro fighting Proper, there might be an opportunity to extend this slim lead. Lukemino forced to back away from the point. In comes the primal rage of Marvel, but hard to kill the Brig. You're right, plenty of ults to deal with here. Nano available for Babel still. Pulse for Yaki, fine striker. Shock have got to shut this down before it becomes any more of an issue here. Marvel just kept alive. That instant heal from the Nano boost was very important against the focusing beam from Proper. He can't take the Winston down, but still, so much pressure being suffered by the Gladiators, and Proper eventually finds his mark. It's Babel going down. Marvel knows there's no one to keep them topped up here. He's got to get off the point and find a health pack. He's found it, sure enough. But now he needs to get back in and help Kevster out, who's at least able to strike blood, getting rid of Proper now, and Yaki makes his way over towards the point, but this is dangerous stuff. The Shock's starting to win out in terms of these individual trades, and Babel can only saunter over towards the point. There's no one to swift step to, no chance to contest. And the Shock take the first map in this series with a real new look roster.
Critical for the Shock to establish some kind of momentum. I gotta say, I think we're in for a good one here, Mitch. I mean, this first map went the distance. I think we could go to map 5 on this one.
Okay, I mean, look, the Shock have already... Good start here for the San Francisco Shock. Hit the ground running with a bit of a new look roster. And how about this one for you? Junbin on the entirety of Ilios. After 10 minutes of play, 0 deaths, 7 final blows, 17 knockback kills, or knockback eliminations, I guess it's safe to say. What a showing on the ball.
I had some conversations with some folks going into this season, and keep in mind, this was when the Shock Copium was, you know, at the top of the charts. But some people were saying that Junbin was, you know, a top 3 Wrecking Ball in the world, maybe even the best Wrecking Ball in the world. It's that good, right? So, you know, I'm taking their word for it. This is when the Shock feel comfortable, and especially with less Sombra being around, you know, we're seeing some more Tracer Echo. It enables Junbin to play a signature hero. In these compositional matchups. This is when you can find some stability and put your Ashe on the high ground. Even though Junbin can knock you back and stuff, you have the coach gun to sort of move around and protect yourself a little bit. Marvel playing Winston right here. You have both the high ground with the rest of your team, but also the forward high ground. You have a lot of options here, so that's the dive from the Shulk, and they're just going to mitigate everything that I just said.
Yep. Sorry, Johnny. That's the way it be sometimes. Junbin just turns up and destroys that high ground presence here from the Gladiators, losing Kai again at the start of the fight. The shot can't get that now as kevster as he falls right in front of Proper. Probe a little low, Junbin denying the... What is this? I don't know how that works. Physics, an afterthought for Wrecking Ball players apparently. Junbin now with that adaptive shielding going to stay nice and healthy as he continues to disrupt here, but he's being ignored for the most part by the Gladiators. He'll work the car to prevent it from moving up here, but the Gladiators have other plans. They're trying to push deep into the backline of the shot for the most part, Johnny, are doing well.
Let's see how they break this choke. It's going to be tough. Gladiators just pushing forward. I mean, they're just steaming ahead, and the shot, can they touch here? Proper wants to. He's got a pulse bomb. Junbin's back. EMP comes out. Junbin finds a pick on the bubble, and this is Shock holding their ground.
The Probe did well. He was getting spy checked as he tried to back away from the cart, and I thought he was surely done, but the Gladiators don't choose to pursue him at all. And the timing's perfect. EMP comes out, Junbin with the pile driver, and all of a sudden San Francisco are back in a position to execute this defense.
Pressure on a backline like the Gladiators. Like, oh, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, you just he
can't stop moving. What is that movie where Jason Statham, I think, if he stops, he dies, and he just has to keep going? I forget it. We're a terrible movie, by the way. Do not recommend. But Junbin, thank you. Great. Thank you very much. Production straight in my ear with that one. That is Junbin right now. This guy has to keep moving, otherwise it's all over. So far, so good. Poking, prodding, probe, finding Babel there, and it's going to be the Gladiators with just over a minute here to make something happen. This very dynamic San Francisco defense is hard to break.
I mean, they're so screwed, right? Because kevster is over onto that Echo. So do you want to play Echo Sombra? Do you want to try to contest this ball with a Sombra? Like, the swaps just doesn't make sense. You built up 5 ultimates as well. The Gladiators are just in a world of trouble. Like, you just need to use the ultimates at this point, but then again, are you going to build them back up? It's 45 seconds to go.
Hasn't really ended the conversation for this title so far this season. Junbin absolutely deserves that honor today. The Wrecking Ball, he was heralded as a great Wrecking Ball player, one to watch. It's nice to get to see it unironically played and with great efficacy. It wasn't just an Ilios as we suspected it might be. When it came out on Dorado, Junbin was able to have instant impact on this hero. And that's a scary prospect for any team that doesn't have a Wrecking Ball player that might have to go up against this strategy.
It was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, his uptime playing the Wrecking Ball as well, always up to something. And he's going to be enabled to play more of that Wrecking Ball when you're seeing more of the Tracer and Echo compositions, right? And some of these maps really open the door for him. But similarly, the Winston as well was really good for him. Taking a look at his Wrecking Ball stats this match, I mean, 17 eliminations per 10 minutes, 1.9 deaths. I mean, you're playing Wrecking Ball, so being able to stay alive, that's like a huge key right there. But really impressed with Junbin, I gotta say. I mean, this summer stage could be really good for Junbin, and more of what we expected from him going into this season.
And it's not just the stats that make him look so good, that made such an impact. It's forcing a player like Kai to play Sombra against his Wrecking Ball on a map like Eichenwalde, right? You probably want Kai to be on hit scan. That's where he's his strongest.